to start with just it's really good to see you. So how did you, when you realized that Bill needed help, how did you find Core Cares?
Carey did a lot of calling out for different places, but Core Care was always in the Shoppers News.
The Shoppers News.
And I read that through there, and she called them, and
Yes.
Okay,
that's how we got them.
that's awesome.
Now we don't have Shoppers News anymore.
No? So we're doing a shout out
Yeah,
to something that was.
but
Oh, wow. Time goes fast,
yes, it does.
as you know. And then you were Bill was one of my first clients,
Right.
but you had some other caregivers,
There
right?
was another company, but I wasn't real happy.
Okay.
And he had a few issues in between.
And then you were happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me more about what made you happy.
Somebody could be there and help him. Or not just help him, but help me.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to go do something.
Able to actually get
grocery.
out
Yes.
and feel that he was safe,
Safe.
which is really important. Yeah.
Or I couldn't have trusted him. I didn't trust him with probably anybody.
So trust, that's a big thing. And what helped you to feel like you could trust, well, we'll say me, because I was one of your main girls for a while.
Yes, you were. It was just comfortable. You were like a daughter.
That's exactly what I want to be in those situations, because you're like family.
Yeah.
People can't be comfortable without family.
And he liked to scare you.
Oh, I forgot that. You have to be willing to do a lot of radical things.
Yeah. Yep.
And he would sometimes get very quiet, and maybe I'd be working on something for him, and then a loud boo. And so we turned that into a game, and he loved that. That's right. I forgot. He got me really good a few times.
Yeah.
So, Carey, you live in Omaha, so you have that distance dynamic where you want to know your parents are getting the right kind of help. And how were you able to feel comfortable from that distance?
Exactly. It was actually one of our stipulations before bringing our dad home and not putting him into a memory care unit. We needed her to know that they needed help. She needed help. So a service that we could trust, a service that we would feel comfortable with and excited about, that she would get the respite care she needed to go meet up with friends, get her doctor's appointments, and knowing that dad would be excited for somebody to come over. And he did. He was kind of nervous at first because he really only wants mom to ever do anything for him. So learning to let go and saying other people can take care of you too, and they love you and they're going to care for you, and they're there on your team.
Yes.
That makes us feel so good, knowing that he's well cared for, he's safe, because that gives her the ability to leave the house
And actually enjoy it.
worry, and enjoy
And
it,
actually
and look
enjoy it.
forward to meeting up with high school friends or people from church. And so that gives us a great peace when we can't be there.
Yeah. I like that you use the word love, because one of the things to help Bill feel the love,
Yeah.
because he's an incredible artist, was making a book for him. And that is the word that I chose on the front.
Yeah.
Also a little journal for him. Just little ways to show him he has some memory issues,
Yeah.
to remind him every day something he could look at.
Yep.
That
I
would
remember
say-
the first time I came back to the house and I saw the book. I think you had even told me about it being created. And I thought, what a beautiful gift to everyone, because we never thought about printing out the pictures he'd created before. And I was so touched by it. We all were. And that gave me that extra boost of your compassion, your thoughtfulness, going above and beyond. You didn't have to do any of this, but you did. And so I knew that you loved him dearly. And I knew that you loved my mom dearly.
I do.
And that made all the difference in the world.
Yeah. And right back to you, that was a sweet memory for me. I'm not an artist in that way of drawing per se. But for him, I was going to try, and I was going to create a little family memory book. And this was a new experience for me. This job was new for me. So I just dove in and started with the doodling and taking a little note. I'm thinking back one of my reasons was that Bill would have moments of silence that lasted quite a while, and then he might say something that I wanted her to hear. And she was out, so it's like, oh, we'll write something, and I wanted you to hear.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite memories was hearing back from your mom that the first time you and your sister saw this, you sat together and looked through it and teared up. Oh,
Yeah, I know.
then I knew I was like, okay, that's all the confirmation I need. I do that now for all of my couples in a similar situation, but it started with you guys. This is the original and will always be very special. But that goes back to knowing your client and listening and caring, because before I even knew that he was the artist he was or is, this idea came from paying attention to other details, right? And so then that was so cool and affirming, like, wait, I've been drawing for someone who literally can do that, which is incredible.
And taking the time to find the connections, knowing what your clients love, and then talking about them, sharing them, helping them share their memories.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yes. And for the family, having something to hold on to on those hard days. And then with Core Cares, as I was telling them earlier, looking for people that care to go above and beyond, that care to do things that aren't going to be in any job manual, right? No one's going to tell me to do this, but what they're looking for is people that care to connect. Because if I care to connect with your dad, and if I care to connect with you, then I'm going to find the ways to do that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you. I'm so glad you brought it today. Very sweet memory.
I forced her because she's kind of OCD about cleaning and stuff. So it was hard for her. I'm like,
Yeah, that's normal for me.
you need to let somebody clean your house. You need to let them run a vacuum for you. Yeah. Because
Before we get into that, I know she wants us to be able to look at one of her favorite photos, so I don't know if there's a way to lead into that. It would be awesome to show one of the awesome
But
photos. There's one of him holding a wild bird that ties into one of my journal entries.
it's holding a blue jay, feeding a blue jay.
So then this was February 1st, 2021. Time goes fast. So that day, happy February, Bill. B is for Blue Jay. And I passed. He actually liked those Blue Jays. The joke is that even if they don't pass, we'll still have fun with it.
Yeah.
Because whatever it looks like, we'll have a funny moment. So, yeah. So you said you had some experiences before Core Cares that kind of gave you context to appreciate Core Cares a little differently. What are some ways that you felt Core Cares went above and beyond?
When I was hospitalized in November and a little weak for a while. So I did let them dust and vacuum.
do some dishes.
And let us is a good word, because I have to say she keeps a perfect house.
I know. I would have to call her and say, don't. They're happy to do it for you. Like they're asking you for some.
Yes,
How can I help you?
So that's a lot of trust. For you to let us help you that way was a lot of trust.
That was, I let go of my vacuum.
That's your vacuum. Yes, and you let us.
I did.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that was a huge relief because she really took a long time to recover and she was weak. So just knowing she wasn't going to go nutso thinking I need to vacuum or it should be dusted and the dishes are in the sink, knowing that she could just plug in and it was done. And it was, again, whoever was coming over was happy to do it and was eager to help in that way.
Yes, every
and would
time it
offer,
was-
can I do something for you today?
Yep. They asked every day, well, I don't know. If you can find something, you can do it.
And if you can't find something, find other ways.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, they play
Games. I know we play some games
games.
with Bill.
He's
Not anymore.
No.
But back then,
But
if we could
yes.
get him to do some tic-tac-toe.
Yes. But now, if you can put music on on the phone, and he would let him pick out. He would tell him which songs he wanted to hear, like "Pretty Woman" or.
Yep.
You're
Little
bringing back a
playlist.
journal entry.
I think we
Yes,
used to play the
because I
piano.
started.
Yes,
play
we
and sing?
did. We did.
We sang for him together.
Yeah.
See, so many memories. Wow. So Shirley would play piano, and we would sing together, and his eyes would get so big, and we'd be
Yeah.
bringing church right to him. But I have an entry here where he shared one of his favorite songs, two of his favorite songs. So I did a little character with the headphones, and one of his favorite lyrics, "There will be songs to sing." And so that's cool to hear that the music is still
He's still
a way to reach them. There's always a way. If they're
Right.
still here,
Right.
this is what I say if I was helping other caregivers. If they're here, there's a reason that their soul is here. Find a way to connect.
That's right.
he has his music every day now.
Awesome. Okay. Is he still craving any Arby's or anything? Any
Oh yes.
Oh, good. He still has the appetite.
Still wants a roast beef
Good.
sandwich.
Because-
Roast
yeah.
beef, corned beef and cabbage.
And that was another way of being
Prime
able.
rib.
I remember him and I liked some weird food things.
Yes.
We teased Shirley. But that was another way that I appreciated your trust, was that you trusted me sometimes to take him out.
Yeah, he would still go out.
To take
then.
him out and,
Yeah.
and bring him through a drive-through.
Right.
You know, it's
Yeah,
life.
no,
What
you're
makes
right.
life better?
That was a big deal when he could go out like that. And, definitely his mobility is decreased and
Yeah.
there's limited transportation now.
Yeah.
But that was a huge deal.
At that time, it
somebody
was a
could
huge
take
deal that she
him.
could trust them
Yes.
to keep him safe. Yeah.
Big, big deal.
And it gave him a chance to analyze my van and the crack in the
Would
windshield
you? We're cracker.
and break up the routine of the day.
Yes.
Yeah, I do think like he really looks forward to who gets to come over.
Oh yes.
And he'll even say, I know you've told me a story where he woke up in the middle of the night and said, "Who's coming over today?
Yes. Who's visiting?
Who's visiting
It's
today?"
who's visiting.
So I know that does break up the monotony of his days.
Yeah.
And, and Mom had said, whoever it was, and she said, "Oh, well, she's coming over from 12:30 to 3:30. Oh, should we have lunch for her?"
Yeah.
Like these random lucid thoughts in the middle of the
beautiful?
night that sound really clear and
And he does.
He
They
can-
do have those moments, and that was
Yeah.
part of the journal.
Right.
Was I want to help save some of those moments for you, so that when you get together, you
right.
can look through and let's hear some of the positive moments
Right.
of the last few months.
Yep. So yeah, but I know he enjoys it. And
Yeah.
He needed a core cares.
He needed
needs-
in home and be home.
yes, and having core cares again and bringing him home from being in memory care where you would visit every single day,
Every day.
spend hours of your time there,
did.
still bathing him, bringing home his laundry because she's again
Feeding him,
super
wanting it.
tidy. Yep,
Yep.
super wanting everything done a certain way. Same with him. It's like they just needed to be together, and home is the only place he ever thought of
Yeah.
for those
Well, he would-
9 months. Every day, when
He-
can I get out of this hospital? I want to go home. And we finally said, let's bring him home, but you have to have somebody come in every day.
That's why
We need to know that you are getting a break and he's being cared for by somebody else. So that was a big stipulation, but what a huge difference it's been having him home for you because you were stressed out.
Well, it was constant.
It was,
And if I'd leave at night, which I would leave after he even ate supper, then he would say, "Well, then I'm worried about you driving home, and then I worry about you all night." So I said, "Well," and there's not enough care there. It really isn't.
So quality of care, that's
Yeah.
one of the
Yes.
things that Core Cares provides, is that when someone's coming to see you, it's for you. It's for you and Bill.
It's
We're
for
not
both
trying
of
to
us.
multitask. And there are times that's needed, and there's places that people need that. But one of the benefits of in-home care, you would say, is that level of attention. Right?
yeah,
Yes,
that
yes.
one-on-one care.
The one-on-one care.
Right. One-on-one care.
And then Core Cares, I like to give them credit for doing a good job of checking in with the client, checking in with the caregiver. Is it a good match?
right.
Not assuming or saying good luck. You get what you get.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
No, it's still a hard thing to deal with advanced dementia and all the physical care and we try to come up, my sister and I try to come in as much as possible from living so far away just to give extra reprieve, but again it is the confidence in knowing that she is not stuck at home because he cannot be left alone and he
Correct.
needs one-on-one care. So knowing you're coming in and offering that help and just a retreat and it's a treat for him, and it's a retreat for you.
Like you said, sometimes it's bringing church to him,
Yeah.
like we did. It's creating moments inside of the environment, working with the situation that you have, thinking outside of the box. That's part of that growth mindset stuff that we talk about a lot. Not being afraid to do unique and quirky things,
Right.
different things, and knowing that you have the support of your company.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. A huge part of Core Care's mission that chokes me up is helping people stay in their homes,
Yep.
stay with their
Yep.
loved ones,
Yeah.
and then becoming part of that family,
Right.
becoming part of. And the more that, if you have that love and that kindness, the family feels that, the closer you become, and pretty soon you've got,
Yeah.
then you've got the problem of, I would love more new clients, but I don't have the openings.
Right.
We just had
We'll find more caregivers.
we
Right.
just had one that retired,
Oh,
and she just called
Oh.
the other day to see how things were going.
Yeah.
We loved her too.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
she
glad
was
she called.
Very, very sweet and
Yeah.
special, and really made
Bill
great.
really liked her too. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brought back so many good memories today. Bill, right down to the scaring me. Loved that. It got to the point like, try again, Bill. I barely flinched.
Well, and I forget too, Mom had the unique experience of having core care after Dad had a really bad episode when he was going through all that horrible sundowners. Then he was hospitalized.
Yeah.
And then that was that turning point where we were so ready to put him in a place, and it closed for COVID. And that's what shut the door. And we're like, I guess we're bringing him home. Let's try him on these new meds. And he was okay. And we're like, okay, but you need help. So it was convincing her still at that point, you have to get someone in the house. So that was our exploratory, like, let's get him in. And then things were going better. But his health declined that summer, and he had all the falls and all the things that were happening, and he was hospitalized, and he was so fragile and weak, we didn't even think he'd make it a month. I mean,
No, they
it was really a low point, but that turned into, there's no way this man can go back to your house
Yeah.
with steps and the care that he
said no.
demands. And that's how we ended up putting him in a memory care. So you've had the
9 months of
opportunity,
being-
right,
being
but
there.
you've had a touch of, I'll use a service hesitantly because you were still nervous about it, but then having him in a memory care for 9 months and realizing the benefits and open arms going, yes, core cares, we're back in, like, let's go. Like,
Especially when you came and visited while I was there.
Oh, I actually visited him
Yes.
in the
Memory care.
in the memory care. So that's
Yeah.
another thing that I like to tell families this, because some people get forced into a situation by the medical
Yes.
requirement
Right.
that they do have to put a family member into a situation like that. And then I like to remind people, because they don't always tell them, that you can let another agency come in and help. And I've loved doing that for Core Cares. There's one memory care unit in particular I've been able to go in and help some clients there, and it's a certain accountability to the place to have other people coming in. But very quickly there, I had a nickname of Sunshine. Okay, so but representing Core Care and their Sunshine, the team Sunshine.
Right.
But I remember going in, and even how happy Bill was to see me there.
Right.
Yeah.
And for a person with memory issues, that really says something.
Yeah, it
That
does.
it's in this new strange place to him, and wait, I know you. You know.
Yep, a familiar face.
Yeah, that's a good memory too.
Yeah.
That's a really good memory too.